How you guys doing today? This is Felonious Bitcoin here, just coming at you guys with another video regarding this whole coronavirus slash shutdown slash not a martial law thing going on, but really is, because we are losing our civil liberties as I speak in this video. The National Defensive Authorization Act of 2020 is something that you guys might want to look up. It basically gives the government's power without getting congressional approval or from the Senate to invoke some sort of martial law type scenario. So you guys might want to check that out and keep an eye on that. But I did drive around today to a couple of different businesses, and I noticed that, you know, a lot of them have lowered their prices to a point where they're pretty much desperate to get whatever business that they can because of this whole thing that the government is doing with limiting crowds of 10 or more people. Now, if you want my honest opinion about that whole thing, I believe that limiting people in crowds is a nice way to deter any kind of riots that might break out as a result of the economy crashing right underneath everybody's feet, using this coronavirus as the scapegoat to everything. Now, I don't know what the governments are going to do next, but I can speculate on that. If history is a good indicator of things to come, then I would say that we can get ready to see a martial law type situation here in the United States pretty soon, just because, you know, people are being compliant and complacent at the same time. It's something to see, because people have been so dumbed down over time that they don't even care, like that their rights are being taken away from them. You know, I think that's crazy. You're not allowed to gather in groups of 10 or more. Bars, restaurants, and other social venues need to be shut down. I mean, and the government, what are they doing? They're being socialists in every sense of the word. They're being socialists by giving out free money, handouts. Oh, we're sorry about everything. We'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. You know, that's pretty much exactly what they're doing. Now, my honest opinion about this whole thing would be to go to you know, the White House, and with your picket, you know, your picket fence, you know, the signs, and you know, and demand that you get your constitutional rights back, because they're taking our rights away. They are, you know what I mean? You can see it. You can't leave your house in certain areas. You're starting to see the National Guard, which, by the way, they have the right to do illegal searches and seizures under the some sort of act that was in 1950. They're able to use that to get what they want in regards to martial law without actually invoking martial law, if you guys know what I mean. So they're wordsmiths, these politicians. They have their way of twisting words to get whatever they want, and you'll notice that over time our rights have been slowly stripped away from us. You saw not too long ago, they recently tried, you know, making it harder for people to get guns, ammunition, you know, telling people they can only buy so many boxes at a time. You have to do background checks in order to buy ammo. And it's, you know, this whole thing with the Real ID coming in October, where we won't be able to travel unless we use that. That's another thing, another telltale sign that they're going for control here. And not just that, but the one thing that they haven't been speaking about on the news, and I think this is interesting, is that Bill Gates, you know, of Microsoft, Bill Gates, he recently sold all his shares in Microsoft and resigned as CEO of Microsoft. Isn't that something? And now, not just that, I did a little bit more digging, and I found out that Bill Gates actually has a patent on this coronavirus that's going around. So if you guys want somebody to thank, go say hi to Bill Gates. He's the one that invented this, or at least he has a patent for it. So go and check that out. But not just that, but all these other people in Congress and in the Senate, the president, the vice president, every single one of them is corrupt. You know, and we're going to start to hear more stories about just how corrupt they are in the news in the not too distant future. You know, they have been selling their stocks, doing insider trading, meanwhile saying that they're not doing insider trading. No, they let somebody else handle their finances for them. Well, I don't know how you bake the cake and how you ice it, but I know at the end of the day how the cake is going to look. So regardless of who's doing your finances, you're the one profiting from this. You're the one that is put into a position to do something for the people, and you're abusing your position of power. That's exactly what these people are doing, and they have been doing for some time now. We've been stripped of our civil liberties over time, of our rights, God-given rights, constitutional rights that these people don't seem to care too much about. Now, my question to that point is, what is the military going to do? Whose orders are they going to follow? When they uphold the Constitution to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What do you call these politicians that are abusing their power? Are they enemies, or are they for the country? You know what I mean? So when they give the order to kill millions of people, what are these people going to do is my question. Because I feel like we're at that point where eventually in the not too distant future that could happen. So that's why I say to prepare the best that you can to your abilities, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. Hell, you don't even know what tonight brings. You saw just how quickly things could change in the span of just a week. People's demeanor about everything, how quickly that changed. And, imagine how fast things could potentially heat up in the weeks to come. So that's just something to think about, But I'm here at Wal-Mart in Longview, Texas. I'm supposed to go meet with my brother in there. He's going to pick up some supplies because he unfortunately doesn't like to prepare. He thinks that the government can't do things like this, but he's starting to slowly see that they can and they will. So I also wanted to show you guys something else. I'm here at Sam's Club parking lot, right? I'm just gonna get out of the car real quick so you guys can check this out. Gas prices right behind me. I don't know if you guys can see, but the gas prices at Sam's are $1.77 a gallon. I don't know if you guys can see the sign, but there it is right there. Gas is $1.77 a gallon, and that is troubling to see that, because we're experiencing the deflation right now, the deflationary period, but not in the not too distant future. I keep saying this because it is right around the corner, guys. So my advice on this issue would be to stock up on whatever you guys need now before the hyperinflation sets in. Hyperinflation, for those of you that don't know, it's when the prices of goods and services start to go up dramatically and drastically day by day, sometimes hour by hour, where the prices of goods and services completely becomes out of reach. Hyperinflation is when the prices of things go skyrocket like parabolic curve and they don't come back down. So that is something that you guys should be very afraid of and very skeptical about the government's intentions, because when that happens, who's to say that they're not going to try to go for complete control? They're not going to have the military step in and do their dirty work for them. How do we know? What assurances do we have as the American people that these are not going to be the steps that are taken? Because with their words and their actions don't add up. They don't add up at all, because the National Defensive Authorization Act of 2020, it just gives them more power to do whatever they want in a situation like this. You tell people there's a national emergency, there's a virus. Okay, well, it's my choice if I want to leave the house. If I want to put myself at risk, then that's on me. You know what I mean? That's how I see this whole thing as. And not just that, but if they're going to have restrictions on movement, why don't they think of some other solution? I think their way of limiting crowds to 10 or less or 20 or less people is their way of breaking up riots before they become problems. You know what I mean? Like they did in China, like they did in Italy, like they did in France, like they did in Spain. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to add all this up and see where things are going. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the Federal Reserve has been injecting billions and now trillions of dollars each day into the repo market, so that way the banks don't collapse, which they're going to. You know what I mean? The house of cards is coming down. It just depends how hard. You know what I mean? And at this point, they've kicked the can down the road for so damn long, and ignored all these problems, and now we are going to start to feel the wrath of all that. And there's no way to soften it. There's absolutely no way to soften whatever is coming. So that's why you need to be prepared. You need to be self-sufficient. You know what I mean? You need to be less reliant on the government and more reliant on yourself, because whatever happened to our liberties, our to the right to own our own land. We don't own land. We rent it until we can't pay the tax on it. That's the truth, So since when do we actually own anything is my question, with these people that are posturing this such a great free society that we have, when in reality it's really a slave system. So that way the elites can benefit off of us even more, collapse the economy, benefit off of that collapse, put everyone else in the poorhouse, everyone else has nothing, and then what do? The people are going to be so desperate that they're going to run back to the government, asking for the government's help, and the government is going to get whatever they want from the people. You know what I mean? That's where this is all headed. So I think that is a very dangerous system to have, and I think as people, as human beings of this earth that are meant to be here without having any kind of paperwork presented to God, for us, the legality for us to be here, I think that government should step out of the way and just let people be. You know what I mean? Because they've already proven over time that they can't be trusted. They've proven over time that they're incompetent. They keep giving us promises that they can't keep, and they keep doing things behind our back without our knowledge and telling us it's for our own good, when we've seen our rights taken away from us. So our own good and their own good are two different things on that matter. So I can agree to disagree with anyone else out there that, has a different opinion about this, but over time, I can safely tell you with confidence that they have taken our rights away, as free human beings. You know what I mean? There used to be a time when we didn't have all these taxes. There used to be a time when there wasn't so many regulations. And all these regulations do is to give more power to the people in charge. They're not designed to help anybody else but them. The people that make the rules, that sit on their asses all day, that tell everybody else what to do, must be nice. It must be nice, because they don't actually have to get up off their ass and do anything. They don't live in the real world like the rest of us. But I'm sure, if people can band together, we can hang these treasonous bastards for the things that they've done to us and to our country and to other countries, because nobody deserves this. This isn't right. The shit that they've done is not right, and I think we're all in agreement on that. And I think the way that they handle situations isn't right either. They always overstep their boundaries and they never give any of our rights back. The Patriot Act during 9/11, even if it was terrorists from another country that did that, why is it the American people that have to suffer the consequences of that? You know what I mean? That's my question. And why is it that Patriot Act got reenacted again this year? You know what I mean? To give the governments more control, more spying power, more control over your bank account, right at the time where the banks are going to negative interest rates, where they're going to have bail-ins. That's actually a security measure on their behalf that limits your access to your own account, to your money that you worked for, and it gives them complete control and access to that money to use however they see fit. So this monetary system, this economy, is all a lie. It's a big lie. It's a pyramid scheme, and it's going to collapse. It's just a matter of time, and it's been heading that way for some time now. I've been saying in my videos for years, at least 3 years now, that this is what's going to happen. And now everybody's jumping on this coronavirus like that's the reason. No, it's not. That's the excuse. You know what I mean? That is an excuse for them to have more control. You know what I mean? It looks good on the media. It looks good to the public. For the masses of people that haven't paid any attention to my videos or videos like this, they'll, quickly be taken a fool by the whole situation. But I don't think that's going to last, because people are going to start to slowly see, maybe even see fast, just how quickly and corrupt these governments and banks can be towards them by taking their money that they shouldn't have access to it. You know what I mean? This is why gold and silver is always going to remain the money of the world. You know what I mean? You're always going to go back to that. It's not going to be any kind of cryptocurrency, because if a government nationalizes a cryptocurrency, oh, by the way, they've been nationalizing corporations here in the United States too, right under our noses. Yeah, believe it. They've actually bought into corporations shares. They've been buying out these corporations. You know, what are you going to do if you're the Federal Reserve and you have unlimited power to print money? You're going to have control over all these different things. You monopolize everything. This is like their big game board, and they're taking over all the properties, you know, and they're going to jack up the rents pretty soon. Everything that they own is going to go up in price. You know what I mean? You're going to have to go to the government, go to the banks for help. You know what I mean? There won't be any mom and pop stores anymore. You know, you'll see McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, all those fast food chains open, because they're going to buy up all those and have complete control over that if they didn't already. You know what I mean? I know personally that McDonald's has been using chemicals in their food. So who's to say that they haven't already owned that for a while now? But anyways, yeah, you're going to start to see the handouts happening at Wal-Mart, CVS's, from the National Guard. You know, if people need food or medicine or supplies, they're going to have to go through the government to get it. There won't be any freedom in this country after this. So that's why we need to stand up together now to try to make changes before it's too late, because right now it's already in the works. It's been in the works for some time, for years, in advance. You know what I mean? This coronavirus was just the perfect excuse for them to implement their own control measures and their laws to try to take more away what little people have left. And I've been saying, like, it's the frog in boiling water, right? You do things over time and the frog won't jump out right away. But if you heat up the water right away, the frog's going to jump right out of the water. Same thing with people. You know, it's a psychological game. You know what I mean? You have to do things in a slow enough way over time, so that way it is not as noticeable. But people are starting to notice, because it's getting to a point now where people can't pay for things. They can't go outside. They can't, you know, hang out with their friends. They can't be in social places. They can't have a beer in public. This is a problem. You know what I mean? The elites don't care about our problems. They're going to do whatever the hell they want anyways. Meanwhile, you get to sit in some fucking jail cell and rot away while they get whatever they want from you, whether it be through slave measures, which they will do, you know, having people work for free. But anyways, guys, yeah, this is Felonious Bitcoin. Try to stay as safe as you can, guys. Please, if you can, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please, let me know what your thoughts are on all this. I want to know if you guys have seen any military mobilizations in your area where you are. I've heard a couple of reports coming out of Chicago, New York, and California where they have been mobilizing the National Guard, but we're being told that that's not the reason that they're doing it. So I find the timing to be highly suspect in that regard. But anyways, guys, yeah, please let me know how you guys are doing in your area. Please stay prepared. Please spread good information. Please be your own best asset. Give back to humanity, and humanity will give back to you guys. All right, take care, guys. Felonious Bitcoin, take care.